Welcome to our latest episode of Action News. My name is Kareem Simpson. I'm the Director of Fatherhood here at NKCAC. We're going to have an exciting show for you today. We're going to be talking about our educational program geared toward young adults and teens called YouthBuild. We're going to be talking with past YouthBuild graduates and also community partners and local educators who work with the program. Again, this is going to be exciting and informative, so sit back, stay tuned, and enjoy the show.
Traditional high school wasn't for me.
I needed an education.
I was eager to find a decent job.
YouthBuild gave me the chance I wanted.
I gained confidence.
I advocated for myself.
I became a leader.
I got 9 months of paid construction training.
Volunteered and made new connections. I found secondary education choices and training.
I feel totally different and got an experience that has shaped my entire life.
Drafty windows, poor insulation, and inefficient appliances can raise utility bills. The Weatherization Assistance Program helps low-income households make energy-efficient improvements to their homes. Our trained inspectors perform an energy audit, and our licensed weatherization professionals provide eligible repairs, free for qualifying families. The Northern Kentucky CAC's Weatherization Program helps to keep families comfortable in their home while reducing energy bills.
Hi, welcome back to Action News. My name is Taylor Weber with Northern Kentucky Community Action Commission, and today I'm talking with David Hastings, the Executive Director of HONK of Northern Kentucky. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, could you please tell us what HONK is and where the services are located?
Yeah, sure. So, HONK is Housing Opportunities of Northern Kentucky. And we serve Campbell, Kenton, and Boone counties here in Northern Kentucky, and our office is based out of Covington.
Awesome. And so what does the program entail, and how does our YouthBuild program kind of help fit your projects?
So we're a homeownership program, and our goal is to help folks who want to become homeowners but just need a little help getting there. So we have a construction part of what we do, and then we have a support for the family that's in the program. So we kind of have two things going on at the same time. And on the construction side has been a really good fit for YouthBuild. So we're proud to be a partner of YouthBuild for quite a few years now.
Awesome. And what kind of benefits is there to having our YouthBuild participants involved with the construction and just overall being involved with HONK?
I love working with YouthBuild. I think it's a win-win-win situation. So I see all the benefits for the participants in the program, and we want to support that. Everything we can do to help our youth to be able to progress in their lives, we want to do that. So we provide an opportunity for them to learn pieces of construction. We provide the site, so they're working in one or more of the homes that we have that we're providing for the families. So huge benefit to us in the labor that's done, and so our goal in the end is to provide the most affordable home and the best home for the dollars that we can to the families that are going to eventually live in those homes and eventually own those homes. And so YouthBuild's been a great partnership in helping us to get those homes rehabbed and to do it in an affordable way.
That's amazing. And just for HONK in particular, is there any special volunteer opportunities or anything that anyone can help get involved with HONK if this interests them and they may not be able to join the YouthBuild program or something along those lines?
We volunteers have been at the core of our mission since we were founded 30 years ago. So we're very used to working with volunteers. We have volunteers Monday through Saturday every week. Actually, Saturdays at the moment is usually about twice a month, so definitely during the week we have many opportunities. End up having a lot of retired folks during the week. some people who have skills and some that, are still learning. And if you can imagine everything that goes into a house just to get a house ready for someone, we can find a way to make most skills work, just because there's a wide range of needs in those properties. So, yeah, we're used to working with volunteers. We're always working on properties, and so, yeah, we need more help. So, always encouraging more folks to volunteer with Honk.
Awesome, that's amazing. And then if someone did want to volunteer or wanted to learn more info about Honk in general, how can they look you all up or things like that?
I'd say probably the best place to start would be our website, which is honkhomes.org. There's a place on there where you can express interest in volunteering, and it's just I think we asked maybe 5 questions on there just to get a feel for what kind of background you're coming from. They can also call our office, 859-581-4665.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today, and I will be right back.
LIHEAP is the Low Income Heat and Energy Assistance Program. We have folks out there on fixed incomes, working families, that those energy bills in the winter just are past their capability. They can take care of themselves every other month out of the year, but when they get hit with that $500, $600 utility bill, it's just not possible. And this program keeps their electric on.
I think a lot of people, when they hear about government assistance, they take it as a bad thing, but everybody struggles, everybody needs help. It's really a privilege because a lot of people, they don't know how they're gonna pay their electric bill.
We're looking for individuals who are experiencing a home heating crisis. And I hear a lot, I don't want to take anything away from anyone else. And that's not a concern for us. These funds are out there for everyone to use. You're not taking something away from someone else if we help you keep your lights on.
LIHEAP saw that I had a need, and I appreciate their help because I got heat in my house and it's warm.
I just tell my kids, if we didn't have LIHEAP, we would be struggling. They will always figure out a way to help you. NKCAC and LIHEAP, they will always figure out a way to help you. There is no, we can't help you.
Our agency takes a holistic look at the family. Even if they're not income eligible for this program, we're going to advocate for them. We're going to look for another program that we can supplement. If they had a job loss, we have a job developer. If soft skills is what they need because they have to go back to work, we have that. We find out those things through that conversation and look for ways that we can help that resolution and help them towards self-sufficiency.
Just give LIHEAP a chance. Let them help you with those stresses. Let them in your life, allow them to help you and receive the blessing.
I'm Delshana James with YouthBuild, and I have Aaron Coldarn here with me today, a recent graduate. Welcome, Aaron.
Hi.
YouthBuild is a program through Northern Kentucky Community Action Agency that serves youth ages 16 to 24 and assists them with getting their high school diploma or their GED. We also offer construction training, hands-on, as well as life learning skills, job training, etc. Just want to ask you a few questions. How did you hear about YouthBuild?
A few years ago, my brother came across it through his school, and then I just went to YouthBuild when I turned 16 because my brother went through it.
Awesome. So you heard good things about it and it was successful.
Yeah.
Awesome. And why were you interested in YouthBuild program?
Because when my brother went, they said that they had a lot of help for after graduates for career choices. And when I went with my brother, one of the people there said that they could help me when I came in the YouthBuild. And so I was interested after career choices I get.
Yeah, because after high school, then what? Kind of need some guidance along the way. That's great. So do you have any advice for students who might be struggling or maybe have dropped out of high school? Do you have any advice for those students?
I mean, YouthBuild would be a good choice. Penn Foster itself would even be a good choice for doing if you dropped out.
Okay, cool. So how have you benefited from the program?
I learned construction skills, got my diploma earlier than a lot of other kids my age. Some life learning skills, helped with food pantries.
Good, that's great. So what was your favorite thing about the program?
Probably the honk houses.
Yeah, doing that construction work and
working with
rebuilding.
the actual constructioners and learning from them too.
Yeah, and then seeing the final product, right, after the house is complete. That's good. So what are your hopes for the future?
Opening up a restaurant after I go to college.
Nice. Culinary?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that, Aaron, and thank
you.
you so much for being here today and answering these questions.
Thank you.
I think volunteering in your community is always worthwhile. The RSVP program is for retired and senior volunteers. It's going to be a blessing for you, and it's going to make you feel like you're contributing to the community.
The fatherhood program is great for me because it has made me do some soul searching, and it's making me step out of my own way, and I've got to build camaraderie with some really good men that I probably would have never met if it wasn't for this. So, you know, that's why I love it. Go fatherhood.
Well, welcome back. We are going to shift gears just a little bit and talk about mental health, something that has had a lot of information over the last couple of years. And we're actually here with Christy Jeffords, who is a former Kenton County School principal, but now has a new role.
Yes, after 25 years in public schools, I took a position this year with the Northern Kentucky Institute for Strategic Prevention. And that does fall under the umbrella of the Northern Kentucky Cooperative for Educational Services.
Awesome, thank you. So glad you were able to introduce like that. That's a lot of mouthful.
It is,
but,
it is.
But it's great work, and especially dealing with a lot of mental health issues. Now, like I said in the beginning, mental health is something that has been kind of brought about a lot, especially since the pandemic. How would you first define mental health, and what is it, or why is it important that young people focus on their mental health?
Okay, so I looked it up, and I wanted to make sure that's a really good definition. So Mental Health America defines mental health as the health of a person's mind and their thoughts, feelings, and actions. The World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being in which the individual realizes their own abilities, can cope with the everyday stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to their community. So I think it's really important for young people to focus on their mental health because there have been a lot of strains on mental health throughout the COVID pandemic. It's important for young people to recognize when their mental health is in jeopardy, when they're facing challenges, and they need to know healthy strategies to deal with those stresses. They also need to know the resources they can turn to if the problems are bigger than they can handle on their own.
Yeah, that is so important, and that the mental health is something that we don't pay enough attention to. You mentioned about the strains and some of the challenges that young folks are going through with their mental health. Can you kind of explain or maybe give a better definition of what those struggles may be?
The last few years with the COVID pandemic just disrupted everybody's lives, adults and kids. It impacted our students' education. All of a sudden, instead of coming to school every day and seeing their friends and seeing their teachers and being in that familiar environment, they had to suddenly do online school, or they were in a hybrid model, or whatever at that point, because there were so many changes we went through. And it was very disruptive to their education. So that causes a lot of anxiety for students, especially kids that know that they're falling behind or are used to doing well and suddenly find that they're struggling. It impacted their lives at home. Their parents, some of them lost jobs. Some families had to relocate because they could no longer afford to stay where they were, or they didn't have a job anymore, so they had to go move in with relatives. And sometimes, unfortunately, kids that were already experiencing trauma, sometimes it stemmed from things that were happening in their home lives. They no longer had a school to go to where they could be in a safe place with adults they knew and receive the services that they were receiving at school. So those were some of the stresses, and unfortunately with trauma, it just doesn't go away now that the pandemic is over. That trauma is still alive, and in a lot of our students are still dealing with a lot of it.
Yeah, COVID-19, that really kind of shifted the paradigm, especially with working and going to school. Now, outside of kind of doing that kind of at home or out of school learning, you throw in social media. Now, social media has kind of grown in popularity over the last kind of 10 years. What are some tell us about the impact of social media that it has on the lives of the teenagers and the young adults in today's society.
As a middle school principal, social media and cell phones were one of the most negative impacts that we saw on our students. There are good things about social media. It's good in a lot of ways for kids to have a cell phone, to be able to contact their parents if they need to stay in touch with the important adults in their lives and to communicate with one another. But unfortunately, there's no filter on the internet. There's no filter on social media. Our kids are being exposed to things that are far beyond their ability to comprehend, to understand, to put it into context. They can literally access anything online than any adult can. And they do. So unfortunately, sometimes they see things they shouldn't be seeing that's very traumatic for them, and they don't quite know how to handle it. There's the other aspect of kids use it for cyberbullying sometimes, and that's very unfortunate, but unfortunately we see that a lot. The filters are off again. People, adults too, sometimes when they're on the other side of a device, they feel like they can say anything, and there's no filters, and it's harmful. And it's one of those things where you just can't get away from it. If your friends are not your friends anymore and they're ganging up on you on social media, there's just nowhere to go to get away from it. Additionally, kids, a lot of them are staying up way too late at night. They are doing their texting, they're communicating, and a lot of times that's also when predators are getting online to interact with children who don't realize that that's a predator on the other end. So kids aren't getting enough sleep. They're coming to school tired, and then that compounds everything at school and their academic progress as well.
Yeah, so we've kind of talked about some of the big challenges that we see with mental health with our young folks, kind of throwing in social media into the mix and some of the challenges that you just said specifically with social media. But what are some things that family and friends can do to kind of mitigate those kind of ill effects of kind of like mental health and social media?
Well, there was a figure in our most recent KIP survey, that stands for Kentucky Incentives for Prevention. The last survey was done in 2021, which was just right at the kind of the end of the COVID pandemic. And over 12% of the 6th graders in our northern Kentucky region said that they did not have a trusted adult that they could go to. And a trusted adult is one of the most important factors for students who need assistance when they're struggling or when they've reached some challenges that they can't overcome. So the first thing is relationships. Having strong relationships with kids. So whether you're a parent, a friend of the family, an educator, or anybody who interacts closely with kids on a regular basis, having those relationships with kids and letting them know that they're important and that somebody cares about them is the #1 most important thing. A lot of times parents and teachers even don't always know what to do when a kid discloses to them that they're having some struggles or they're struggling with their mental health. So I would like to recommend taking a course like Youth Mental Health First Aid. That is offered through Mental Health America. In fact, my organization just had a training on that last week, but it goes through what to do, what are some of the risk factors to look for, what are the signs, and what can you do as an adult to help a student who's going through a rough time. We're not training people to be treatment providers, but we are helping them recognize the signs and then help that child get the help that they need.
Yeah, any help is better than no help.
Absolutely.
We here at Northern Kentucky Community Action, we actually have a program called YouthBuild that we're talking about on the show today, where it kind of helps and is a provider for that kind of adult piece that you were talking about. Can you tell me a little bit why it's important to have resources like YouthBuild for students?
as we all know, not every child is going to fit into a certain mold. And so there are some students that just don't always do as well in a traditional school setting, or they may not wish to go on to college or to some other type of secondary schooling. So they need to have an idea of what can they do with themselves, what's their future going to look like, and how can they reach their goals. They don't just know it. They need guidance. They need mentoring. So having adults in their lives that can mentor them and help them find their pathways, help them find programs that fit what they want to do and fit their interests, can really help them to reach their potentials and to have a great pathway for being a productive adult.
I think that is awesome advice. I mean, kids don't know what they don't know, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
Christy, thank you so much. The information that you shared is really insightful, and I think it's going to help our viewers kind of take it to the next level to help with the teens in their life.
I sure hope so. And if I can help in any way, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Working for NKCAC, I really love that I get to be creative, I get to have my ideas heard, I have the opportunity to grow and learn more every day in the work that I do. I feel like I'm making a difference in my community.
Early childhood is a time of great growth and development. Northern Kentucky Head Start provides you and your preschool child a stable foundation through services in education, health, and nutrition, including daily meals and social services. And with parent involvement, you'll always be part of your child's progress. Head Start offers preschool opportunities with support for the whole family. To find out if you are eligible or to apply today, visit our website at nkcac.org.
Thank you all for watching today. I hope you found the information both enjoyable and informative. Before we leave you, we want to remind you that we are hiring. Go to nkcac.org/careers to find out more. Lastly, happy holidays, and we'll see you next time.